chemistry, statistics, history, you can name any type of subject that is required for you in high school, and you won't want to there's so many classes you just don't want to take that you have to take. And of course, everyone wants to have an easy teacher, but that's not always the case. The quality of teachers that are available to the California public school system for PE cannot change because of budget cuts that have occurred in the state of California. PE teachers, as well as any other teacher, need a bachelor's degree. And you also need to be licensed by the state to be a physical education teacher, according to Education Portal. If you have, in the school system, if you have a higher education than a bachelor's degree, then your salary should also increase. However, with the budgets that California is left with, there isn't enough money to pay every single teacher the amount that they sometimes deserve. And according to a government website for California, any teacher that has the credentials to teach physical education can teach at any grade level. This is beneficial to the system because we need to have teachers that are available to any school, any age of students, not just certain people. Sports, the affirmative mentioned sports that shouldn't count for physical education requirements. However, we believe that they should, because when you are playing a sport, you are more passionate about it. And according to an article written for a newspaper in San Francisco, it would be beneficial to the school system for sports to count for physical education because there's more of a variety for students that choose to play a sport. In PE, sometimes you're limited on what is available to you for equipment, what the teachers want to do, the weather, whatever's available is kind of what you end up doing, and so sometimes you don't exert as much effort into what you're doing because you're just not interested. But if schools counted sports for physical education requirements, people are more passionate, and if you're more passionate about something, then you're more likely to be really excited about it, and then you would get a greater workout. There was also a point that if sports counted for physical education, students would have more flexibility for educational classes. Also, the school would be, if there's less physical education classes, the school could direct money that's left over towards the sports teams, which would benefit both the school and the students. Physical education should not take the blame for high school students being unhealthy. There are also other factors that contribute to the overall wellness of high schoolers. Food and beverages available on high school campuses, plus the implementation of intramural sports would really benefit the overall health of high school students. The food and beverage would really help because there are so many vending machines that are available on campus, and the majority of vending machines tend to be sugary drinks that provide substantial calories and very few nutrients. This is according to the APHA's PDF that they sent out they did a study on different vending machines on high school campuses. And UCLA's Center for Health Policy Research reported findings from 2003 that said 43% of California teens that had access to soda at school drank 25% more than those who did not have access to the drinks on campus. So if you have something that's available to students on campus that's unhealthy, that just promotes that it's okay for them to drink it. And if they're drinking lots of sodas or sometimes they're drinking sports drinks, and they're not doing very well in PE, then they're not burning up enough calories that they are taking in. There's also a California endowment that's been used to help improve health, nutrition education, and public policy change, because sometimes the requirements of California law are not brought out by the schools because they just decide they don't feel like doing it. Approximately 15% of all U.S. children were classified as overweight in 2000. Rates of childhood obesity and sedentary lifestyle have increased rapidly in the past decade. Key factors driving these trends are changes to physical and social environments that facilitate and promote the consumption of calorically dense foods. So schools should be focused more on what they're serving their students and promoting that they take part in activities outside of PE. Because of the budget cuts, they're not always able to hire better teachers.